Welcome to the Glow Getters podcast. My name is Fahey-Ahrndt, and I'm your host. I teach and inspire leaders to step into their productive selves and find their true potential. I'm a passionate creative and scientist with over 8 years of healthcare leadership experience. At age 25, I stepped into my first management role and didn't find the leadership advice I was looking for. So here I'm giving you the tools to end burnout and enjoy a vibrant career and life. Glad you're here to learn and grow with me. Now, on with the show. Hey, Glow Getters podcast listeners. Happy 102nd episode. How did we get here? Oh yeah, one episode at a time. There's this Ruth Bader Ginsburg quote that I saw recently. It says, real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Ugh, love me some RBG. That cannot be more true. Especially thinking about how we just surpassed our 100th episode. Again, if you haven't listened to it, check it out. I give my top 10 leadership lessons that I've learned over the years of making the podcast, and linked a bunch of episodes for you that have those exact lessons in there that I teach in the different podcast episodes. So if you haven't checked it out, it's definitely worth a listen. I just can't believe we're over that 100 mark. So thank you for being here. If you don't know already, my name is Kayla, and I help leadership professionals feel successful every single day by giving them different tools and mindset tips to help them succeed and redefine what success looks like for them. And today I want to talk about the 3 different focus areas that you need to have to be a successful leader. And this all stemmed from, I was trying to think of a podcast episode theme. So I was looking through my old notebooks, and I found one of my older digital planners, and I have just sort of a brain dump notebook page where I list like all of the feelings and the things that leaders are sick and tired of feeling and how they actually want to feel. And then I basically divided those into 3 different focus areas, and like grouping the like ones together. And I came up with 3 different areas. I came up with tools as the first area. The second area is like personal development, mindset, health, awareness. That's like the second bucket. And the third bucket is clear expectations, direction, and clarity. So all sort of like synonyms for the same thing. So tools, sort of this personal development mindset, and then clear expectations, direction, and clarity. And so I often talk about like the strategic tools and the mindset part, and then I sort of like wrap in the expectations into like the mindset and personal development, but I thought it'd be worth calling them out here. And so I'm going to walk you through the 3 different areas. But just in case you're curious, I thought this list was interesting. I wrote down like what people are sick and tired of feeling and how they actually want to feel from my own experience and from talking, with other leaders. And this is just like eye-opening, and it's crazy how we get ourselves so burnt out, but it happens. It's real. And honestly, the way that we perceive things is reality. And so if we can shift our mindset or find a tool or create a boundary to make things better so that we can feel differently every single day, like that's huge. So yeah, here are some examples, going from digging out of a hole to feeling innovative and visionary, going from burned out and emotionally drained to like, again, innovative and a visionary, going from tired to energized, overwhelmed to organized, going in circles to strategic or organized, unsure and doubting to confident, resentful to purposeful and satisfied, depleted to fulfilled, floundering to prepared, lower self to higher self. Such interesting dichotomies and opposites. And thinking about like where people are at and how we actually want to feel every single day. So basically I drew different lines to these different 3 categories, and here's what I came up with. If you wanting to go from burned out and emotionally drained to innovative and visionary, or tired to energized, or resentful to purposeful and satisfied, or depleted to fulfilled. You need boundaries. You need realistic expectations for yourself. You need to work to prioritize your work, and you need to also ask for feedback. Um, the other tool, so there's, and the other thing that you could get is having leader standard work. So essentially, like a way for you to basically score yourself each and every day. So you know you have clear expectations of how you're doing. I think when we feel burned out or emotionally drained or depleted and unfulfilled, it's probably because we're not getting the right feedback. We don't actually have the correct boundaries. Our expectations of ourselves for ourselves are unrealistic, and we really haven't prioritized our work. We're probably trying to work on everything and saying that we're prioritizing, but we're really not because we're spread too thin. So that is sort of the direction, clear expectations, directions, and clarity bucket. So I would encourage you to start to think about if you're feeling burned out or emotionally drained or resentful or depleted, do you have boundaries? And I have lots of different podcast episodes on this that you can go back and check out. Do you have realistic expectations for what you can accomplish within your day? If you're not sure, or if you're feeling these things, I would suggest you check out my Leader Standard Work tool. I will link it in the show notes. I have some YouTube videos on it. I've talked about it before on the podcast. I will link that as those episodes as well. Basically, you need to figure out, like, are you overscheduling yourself? Is the amount of work you have on your plate realistic? You also might want to start using a project template, and I also have a free download for that, which I will link in the show notes, to help prioritize your work. Start asking yourself what is important right now and today, and talk to your boss about what things they think you should be working on, and if they could choose a top three, what would they be? And get some feedback. Hey, am I doing, are my priorities aligned with yours? Ask your boss. Is my work, am I working on the right things? Uh, is the way I've been showing up healthy, or do you see a different way for me to pivot? And ask for help. Hey, I'm, overworking myself. I'm wondering, like, what am I doing that I could do differently? So that's that bucket. The second bucket is all about mindset and personal development. So I think for that, if you're feeling unsure and doubting and want to be confident, this is the biggest piece of where mindset comes in. Also, lower self to higher self. That's where that often comes in. So I think about using things like um, affirmations to really, really basically manifest, but also actualize who you want to be and how you want to feel every single day. So I have talked about affirmations before on the podcast, so you can check some previous episodes about that. I also think we need to be more self-aware as leaders. And so if you want to go from unsure and doubting to confident, or lower self to higher self, just having more self-awareness is so important. And you can do this through different leadership and personality tools. I, for example, share in my Leader Toolkit course all about the Discovery Insights course that I had taken to be more self aware. And also, I talk about the Enneagram, which I always talk about how I'm a three, which is the achiever, success driven type. Um, but also, I'm a three wing two, and the two is a helper. So that's like kind of that selfless service type of person who just gives and gives and gives. We need to be very self-aware so that we can make sure we have the proper boundaries, but also that we can improve the way that we interact with other people. Also, I've said this before, but if you want to feel more confident, you have to start taking action, because the pain of perfectionism is real, right? So once you take action, then you feel more confident and you want to take more action. And so it's sort of the chicken or the egg thing, like, when am I going to be confident? When am I going to take action? And you just have to know that you have to take imperfect action to gain confidence. And it's going to feel awkward, but you have to start. You have to start doing, and you have to start asking for help and peeling away the layers. And again, in terms of feeling unsure and doubting and then feeling confident, I think it has a lot to do with just even like our how we start our day, the tempo, the pace. Do we feel good about our mind? Is it clear? Do we feel good about our bodies? Do we nourish them, fuel them with good food? Do we hydrate? And so, I think about like fitness in terms of mental fitness and physical fitness. I absolutely love working out. And it's funny because I have always been athletic. I have been in different sports throughout my whole life and dance for many years, ballet, tap, jazz, point, all of the things. But I wasn't like a consistent person who would like exercise consistently. I'd be that person like setting the New Year resolution and being in the gym for like one day and then maybe going on the elliptical here and there, but like nothing routine. Then after I had my first baby, I um, signed up with Beachbody and I met some amazing friends and working out became consistent. All of a sudden it was 5 days a week and then it was 6 days with a rest day. And then I was doing actual programs and I haven't turned back since. It's been over 3 years. And I feel the best I've ever felt in my entire life because I have something to look forward to in the morning. I am energized in the morning after I have my workout. I feel confident because I did something for me. So there's different things you can do to help with your mindset and confidence, but I honestly think that physical fitness is a great way for mental health. It's shown to help you sleep better. Um, and so overall, it's just like, why wouldn't I want to extend my life expectancy and make my quality of life better by helping my mind and body. And so that's one example of something you can do for that. That might not be obvious when you think of leadership, but taking care of your body is so important for leadership. And so find a workout program. All right, and then in the tools category, I think about uh, if you're feeling overwhelmed and you want to be organized, or you're going in circles and you want to be strategic, you really, really need some tools. So I love talking about leader standard work. Talked about that before. Calendar management. You want to be time blocking. I've also shared on the podcast about SBAR, which is a communication tool, situation, background, um, assessment, recommendation. I've shared a communication plan as well on the podcast, so I'll link to that in the show notes. Um, Also, some really amazing tools come from lean thinking. And one of the tools I use all the time is PDCA, which is Plan, Do, Check, Act. It's something you can use for continuous improvement. And so I've also talked about this on the podcast before, and I'll link to that episode. But basically, if you can have a toolkit, which is a lot of what I teach in my Leader Toolkit course, of templates, of work aids, of tools that help you know what to do next, tools that help you know how you're doing, tools that help you structure your thoughts, like communication tools like SBAR, tools that help you structure your roles. Like we have something called a RACI. It's RACI. It stands for Responsible, Accountable, Consulted, and Informed. If you have tools like that, you can rely on them to help you make decisions, eliminate decision fatigue, and improve your performance because you're going to standardize the way that you work. And you're also going to have sort of that leader standard to compare yourself to and know, like, okay, I'm doing a great job. I'm overscheduled, but I'm still doing a wonderful job being present. I am stressed out about having to ask for something or create a proposal, but no, I'm not going to worry. I'm just going to simplify it. I'm going to use SBAR and I'm going to send off the email. Done. So you can see that if you have basically three focuses: tools, mindset, personal development or awareness, and then clear expectations or direction or clarity, you can be such a well-rounded leader who has so much in there, again, I say it, toolkit to help them. And it's just so interesting how we just think of like leadership as like the strategic part, or maybe even we just think of like the mindset part. But you really need the tools, the mindset, the clear expectations, the boundaries, the prioritization, the realistic expectations, which, like I said, could be part of mindset to help us be well-rounded leaders, leaders who are empathetic, leaders who grow and continuously improve, and who continue to challenge norms and can be visionary and innovative. So, I just want to challenge you. It's the end of the year. I don't know how many weeks we have left, maybe 12 or something like that. Um, think about these three buckets and think about where you might feel like you have a gap. Is it in the tools section? Like, do you need templates and different things to help you? Maybe implementing leader standard work or help with your calendar management. Are you feeling more like you don't really have tools for mindset? Maybe you don't have affirmations, or you haven't taken leadership uh, style quiz in a while, or you're not sure if you're very self-aware at work. Um, Maybe you are struggling with perfectionism and taking action, or maybe you don't have like a healthy fitness routine or nutrition, um, good nutrition that fuels your body. Maybe you're just eating like coffee and donuts every day, which no judgment here, but maybe not every day. I mean, coffee every day. So, like, is there a balance in that even? Or maybe you're feeling like you don't have clear expectations or realistic expectations for yourself. You are very hard on yourself. You struggle with that. Maybe you're struggling with too much on your plate and things just aren't prioritized, even though you're trying to act like they are because you're usually really good at keeping your shiz together. Maybe you need more feedback from your boss and you're scared to ask for it. Rip that band-aid off and just ask for the feedback. Hey, how am I doing? Is there anything you see like where I can improve, specifically around prioritization or expectations? Am I doing enough? Maybe I'm doing too much. Can you help me prioritize? If you find a gap in one of these areas, I challenge you for the last, end of the year, think about what that gap might be and try to find one area that you can improve and focus on, and think about it as you go into the new year. Think about it as you go into your performance review too for this year, and something you can say that you want to work on. If you're looking for tools like the Leader Standard Work, SBAR, like I said, all in the show notes. Check them out. They're on my website at glowgetterslife.com. You can check it out in the free resource library, but also there's some paid templates that you can grab in my Leave Happy Method store. If you need help with personal development, mindset, awareness, like this podcast is for you. I try to provide free value for you all and talk more about this and share my stories and be more relatable. But also go out and read some books, check out the personal development section at your local store. I have book recommendations that I've shared before on my Instagram. I'm happy to recommend so many different things, whether it's a book or a podcast for you. Send me a DM on Instagram at Kayla Fahey-Ahrndt. I'm so happy to answer that for you. Think about journaling, just think about like what's in your head, get that on paper. Maybe develop a workout routine. If you're interested in the workouts that I do, Beachbody, I no longer actively coach for fitness, but I do have connections and can share what I do. And if you're interested, you can definitely check it out. If you're not, there's so many free resources you can find online, Pinterest workouts, free YouTube workouts, yoga, all of that. It's so great. And then, yeah, like I said, I already sort of talked about boundaries, but approaching your boss, thinking about it. There's so many things you can do to reflect on, am I being, am I aligned with what's important right now? And am I living in integrity with my values? Am I working super late, but I say that I value family? My actions don't align with my values. So, really take some time to think about this as, the end of the year wraps up. things typically slow down around the holidays. Yes, a lot of us have some busy times in work, but also, you know, we have deadlines, but also like things kind of slow down because people take time out of the office. So think about, where are the gaps here, and how can I be, even just 1% better by the end of the year? And think about how I might improve and be more self-aware about it in 2022. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's kind of stemmed from just me like brain dumping how I want to coach for leadership and sort of all my different like aspects of leadership that I thought about that have helped me. And really, the three focus areas are those strategic tools, personal development, like mindset, and then setting clear expectations and clarity and boundaries around work. All right, everybody, until next time, take care and be a light.
All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. I wanted to let you know about something new that I'm doing. If you could please leave me a rating and review on iTunes or write in your Apple Podcasts app, I would so appreciate it. Each week, I'm going to be doing a drawing and sending an email to a winner just to say thank you with some treats, tips, and a little bit of extras, because I really want to get this podcast out to more people, and I want to hear how it's helping you, getting feedback about what you love to hear about and what you love about the podcast so I can keep doing that. Also, if you'd like to connect with me on a deeper level, check out my website at glowgetterslife.com. You'll find links to my About Me page so you can learn about me and my journey in leadership. You'll find links to my blog, my podcast for more episodes, and to my YouTube channel. And you can also find links to the templates and leadership planners I've created, as well as my free resource library. All right, thanks so much. And until next time, be a light.